If you have lower back pain, today I'm going to teach you 4 techniques that aim to crack, decompress, and stretch your spine so you can feel better as soon as possible. Now, these techniques alone won't guarantee you that well-being and better quality of life in the long term. What you need to do is combine them with mobility, strength, and stability exercises. And that's what we're going to do during Back Week, which will take place from October 27th to November 2nd. You can sign up for it right above in the upper right corner of the screen by clicking and leaving your email. Very well, 4 techniques that will help you greatly improve your lower back pain. First, prepare a sofa, a cushion, and a couple of chairs. Let's start with the simplest one, which is a very effective lumbar traction that I use very often whenever I find a place to support myself. Basically, what we're going to do is find some chairs that are about at the level of our hips or higher and rest our hands on them. These are a little bit elastic, but if they're rigid at your house, that's even better. It can also be done on a piece of furniture, on a railing, on your terrace, wherever you want, but you need to have 2 places to rest your hands. I want you to place the tips of your feet just behind you to support your body weight on your arms and let yourself drop, putting all that weight onto your hands. Keep your elbows very, very straight, never bent, because you will fall. And from here, I want you to let your knees drop forward and have your feet supported only by the tips of your big toes. We hold the position, close our eyes, and relax. It's crucial to relax your abdominal belt during the exercise. These muscles connect your ribs to your pelvis, and its muscular tension and contraction will keep us from performing a proper stretch. So once you're in a position where you're comfortable, it might cause a little bit of discomfort in your wrists. I want you to breathe and try to relax. Tighten your abs as much as possible and inhale. Letting go. And feeling how your pelvis separates from you, how it pulls downward. Thanks to gravity and how the lumbar spine decompresses, what we can also do is add a small movement, a rocking motion with the knees. It should be said that the chairs need to be solid and heavy, because if they're too light, they'll probably move and you'll fall. We always work with complete safety. I rest the tips of my feet and I let myself fall onto the chairs. Another requirement we can add is a rocking motion with our knees. What they're going to produce is greater decompression and traction at the lumbar area. Very pleasant, very good. You can hold it for as long as you need, 10, 20, 30 seconds. Usually your hands suffer first and are what make you do the exercise. Try them all. Tiptoe, small back and forth, deep breathing, or combine them. It's one of the best things if you manage to focus on your abdominal area, and it can leave you with very good sensations and immediate pain relief. For the next technique, we remove the chairs and sit on the floor. Second technique, where we target lumbar rotation. You can do it on the floor, on the couch, or on the bed. Anywhere you can rest your buttocks, your arms, and your legs. For this, we're going to place our arms just behind us and this side. For example, I'm going to start on the left side. I'm going to extend one of my legs and place the opposite leg. You can place it at knee level to start and then change that support. To try different rotations, since the feeling can change a lot depending on where you place this foot. From here, I'll move my left arm as far back as possible and step forward a bit, as far back as I can. Fully extended, never bent. And from here, I'm going to use my right elbow to leverage against my left knee. I rest my elbow with my arm fully extended and twist completely. Look, it's very important to turn your gaze backward, because there's a great synergy between the cervical, thoracic, and lumbar areas. I return to the starting position, take a breath, and from here, the elbow locks onto the left knee and I twist as much as possible. To look back, the elbow locks and at the same time pushes the leg to the other side. What should never lift off is the left buttock from the floor. I take a breath and exhale. Very good. We might hear some cracking, some spinal adjustment, accompanied by great relief. We take a breath, exhale, and twist. Let's do one more, bring it to the center. I'm really pushing hard with this arm against my knee. And I look back. I relax and switch sides to work on rotation on the other side. And now, instead of placing my foot right where the knee is, I'm going to leave it a little lower. And you'll see that the sensations change, because the lever arm is different depending on the hip flexion. Same parameters. My right arm goes way back. You can see it here in this side camera, right over here. My left elbow, now even more so, the elbow is the forearm, rests at the level of the knee. I take a breath from this position. I exhale and twist as far back as possible, looking as far back as I can. I hold the position and return. Personally, I prefer this bend. Less knee flexion is giving me better sensations. One more, we take a breath, support arm behind, fully stretched. I turn all the way back, take a breath, one more time. I release my left arm, resting it on that knee, my torso relaxed, my gaze, how are we doing? Are we going all out? Very good. We could try again. With a little less bending, here for example, would already be too little. The unseen foot must always stay firmly supported. If we overextend the knee, my foot loses support. What we could also try is more knee bending. Let's see how that feels. I put my elbow and arm back, inhale, then exhale. And I turn. Very good as well, honestly. Both little flexion and a lot of flexion feel really good. I want to show you again. Left leg crosses the right. I place my elbow here. I turn completely. On the other side, turn, put your foot below the knee, then place your elbow and hand. I turn. Good. This is level 2 traction. We are going to progressively increase the intensity until the last manipulation, which is much more complicated, and obviously I don't recommend everyone to do it. I invite you to start with the first one. If it feels good, move on to the second. If that feels good, then the third, and finally the fourth, if all the previous ones have felt good to you. For this third one, which is also very intense and where we also work on rotation, we are going to need a cushion. Let's do it right here. I want you to place that cushion at the level of your legs and lie down on your back. And place both legs on the cushion. I'm going to move a little so that it's perfectly aligned. From here, choose one of the two sides. Let's pick the right side. Pay close attention. I'm going to lift that leg toward the chest. From here, my left hand grabs the right knee and pulls it inward until that knee reaches the floor. A key point for me is that this movement causes things to become misaligned. First of all, that bottom leg should be completely stretched out on the cushion, as it allows for a slight lateral flexion of the lumbar spine, as if it were opening up toward the ceiling. And secondly, that the foot should be hooked behind the knee. You'll notice there's little tension here, but once you put it in place, the tension increases a lot. From here, my left hand rests at the level of the knee. It can be a little higher or a little lower. As we've seen before, the feeling changes slightly. I'm going to place it here. Let your fingers touch that knee, at least a little, and with the opposite arm. This is the interesting part. Let's open up as much as possible. Very good. To the other side. It's important that your right leg stays down, or we lose all the tension. Open your arm. You can even hold a small weight with your right hand. 90-90. What does this mean? 90 at the elbow, 90 at the shoulder. We let that arm drop. And again, I follow it with my gaze, because the work of the entire spine in unison is extremely important to achieve maximum mobility and get that crack, that feeling of joint release. My lower leg is not fully extended, but slightly bent. My upper leg is bent, and my left hand is on my knee. Right arm opens as I breathe in and out. Great, I'm inhaling and doing the exercise. Don't use your glutes. We release. One more. And my eyes follow the hand. Right, slowly. Extremely slowly, we return to the starting position, to column A. Don't you like changing positions quickly? That's why I invite you to take a few seconds, even stay lying on your back before moving on to the next one, the one on the opposite side. It's basically the same. Alright, let's see the example again. I place both my legs on the cushion, I relax, I bring my left knee toward my left shoulder. This right hand grabs that knee until it touches the floor. Here it's very likely that your bottom leg has slipped, that this leg isn't hooked behind the knee, so what are we going to do? I stretch my leg well, making sure it's properly on the cushion, and I place that foot, that instep behind the knee. It can be a little lower or a little higher. I invite you to try, but make sure your toes touch the knee we have here, because if not, it's very likely that it will come off and you'll lose that intensity we want to create in the rotation. If your neck hurts, put a cushion here. It'll really help. I rest my knee, rest my hand, rest my head on a cushion if you want, arm at 90-90, and from here I inhale and exhale. Very good. I watch as far down as possible, as if I wanted to touch with my elbow. But remember that if you let go, the lower leg will lift up, and that left leg should always stay in contact with the floor. You each have different flexibility. I can't go all the way down. It may be that when you do it, you don't feel any kind of tension. I invite you to continue and practice the last technique, which is definitely the most intense. I hold the position, I follow the movement of my arm with my gaze. In fact, you can try looking and not looking. What a difference, right? I hold the exhalation. I inhale. Let's go again. We return. 2, 3, inhale. 3, one last time. I exhale and turn my head and my whole spine without losing contact between my left knee and the floor. Very good. Let's slowly return to the starting position. Breathe, enjoy. Good mobilization. You probably skipped a vertebra. We got a crack, some relief, temporary and momentary. Remember the great importance of exercise in maintaining that well-being throughout your life. Third technique done. Thoughts, good or bad? Should we start the fourth, which is more complicated? I invite you to try it only if this one felt good for you, if you had good sensations, because it's extremely difficult. Let's lie face down. I call this the scorpion. I recommend doing it near a wall so you can keep a good position with your legs. That's what I'm going to do. I position myself with my legs resting on the floor, the tips of my feet against the wall, and my arms have to be placed on both sides of my body. You can also do it on the bed. Ideally, you should have a slightly softer surface so it doesn't hurt. In terms of support points, from here, pay close attention. We're going to start with a rotation to the right side. Watch closely how I do it. I lower my right leg, place it on the floor, and my left leg, its knee rests at the level of the foot. Are we reenacting it again? Both of my feet are pressed against the wall. I lower my right leg, and my left leg is placed right at the level of the foot. As shown in the side camera, if this starting position is difficult, then this technique isn't for you anymore. We can ask someone else to give you a hand, but ideally, you should be able to do it by yourself. If you can't, it means you're lacking hip rotation. We position ourselves with arms on both sides in 90-90, rest our head, and focus on what I want. I want your left foot to get as close to the floor as possible. I call this the scorpion. We're going to pivot on my right knee, turn as much as possible, and my left foot turns as much as I can until I reach my limit. For instance, I'm already there now. A lot of tightness in front of my left hip and a lot of movement in my lower back. I take a breath, I come back slowly, controlling the movement. That will be hard too. Let it go. And you take that foot as far as you can. For example, I can't go any further here. The front part of my thigh, my hip stretches a lot and I feel like there's a limit there. The head, I haven't mentioned it. I recommend you rest it on the side we're going toward. That is, I'm moving my left foot to the right side. So I rest the right side of my head. I take a breath. I go, see you later, see you later, see you later. Very good rotation and extension work together. One more. I come back slowly, just the drum. Only for the younger, more daring, or those who mastered the previous 3 techniques easily. Very good. We've done 4, you can do up to 10. Now I'll give you a little idea about the dosage. I put my legs like before and now change the support. That is, my left foot goes to the floor, my right knee rests on it. In the same way, I put that leg vertically and it's the same procedure. What we're aiming for is for my right foot to touch the floor or get as close as possible. I turn my head to the other side. I'm gonna keep looking down with my hand like this basically, because otherwise the mic will sound bad. And from here, what we're going to do is the same movement. I pivot on my left knee, go down as low as I can. Look, here I'm reaching without any problems. I have less tension in the front and I notice greater mobility. It's likely that during this movement there will be some joint cracking, some popping, some decompression, and that you'll feel better. In that case, write it down and repeat it up to 10 times to enhance the result of the exercise. Look here, if I touch perfecto. We're going to do 4, we've done 2. 3. Touchdown rotation back to 7, 14, 37, 47. Very good. Hold for a few seconds, then return slowly. Untangle those legs. Let's rest for a moment. We can take this opportunity to do an extension pose, which is great for your back, especially if you work sitting all day, and we breathe. How can we do these stretches? How can we work on them? Well, I recommend that you try them all, okay? If any of them cause you pain, don't move on to the next one. After finding the variations that suit you best, I suggest doing them throughout the day. 2, 3, 4 sets from 5 to 10 repetitions. So, an exercise that is meant to provide relief doesn't need to be repeated constantly. Just stick with the ones that work well for you and spread them out throughout the day. Sometimes you might hear a small joint crack or a pop that comes with pain relief. In that case, it's welcome. If that's not the case, that's fine too, because we're still working. Joint mobility and simply working within those ranges can already make you feel better. Just a quick reminder that for lasting relief, we shouldn't rely only on these kinds of techniques or on massages, pills, or injections, but we need to support these techniques with a solid foundation of exercise. And that's what I'm going to teach you during Back Week, from October 27th to November 2nd. 7 days live, where I'll be offering you 100% of my knowledge so you can improve. I'll leave you the link to sign up both in the first comment and in the description. It's completely free. Hope to see you there. If not, I hope this video has been extremely helpful to you and that you can share it with those who need it. That's all. I say goodbye to you and thank you again for staying until the end of the video. Bye, friends.